official event. It's going to be an absolute blast here on the night, jumping in towards Warzone with all of the great lineups that we have here. A lot of players coming in, a lot of players that have been playing this game quite a bit, but nonetheless, your host for this evening, my name is Vision. Joined with me is Beatdown, and Beatdown back in towards the Warzone action here once again. And obviously, no, it's going to be an absolute blast.
Oh, of course, super excited to be back with you two, Visions, just bringing more Warzone action. It seems like we just can't get enough of it, and we have so many great teams to join us here on the night. Of course, we have some Toronto Ultra players and some people joining them. Even have an interesting guest in specific Maple Leafs player.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Stack up his roster a little bit here. One of the best here for the Maple Leafs lineup. Like you said, Mitch Marner coming in towards the mix. Absolutely crazy to be able to play with him. I imagine he's got to be freaking out maybe a little bit, but he's got to put on the show. He's got to let everyone know, listen, I'm on the Ultra roster. I got to show everyone how it is. So
yeah.
He's going to bring a little flair for us tonight. But we should probably talk about at least some of the little formats and rules that we do have coming in towards the mix here for us. So we'll be about 14 teams. Of course, a lot of it's consisting of people within Toronto Ultra, a lot of the players that are either on the bench or on the actual main roster itself. And like I said, a couple highlighted players, Mitch Marner coming in towards the mix. We also have Suda, YouTuber here on towards this platform. So there's a lot of great mix of talent, and then we're bringing in a lot of players here that were able to kind of tweet out towards Toronto Ultra to ask what team they wanted to play for. Well, some of them got rewarded, and they're going to be thrown in, and we're going to kind of see how they're going to be able to do here and fare against some of the best that we have to offer in the game.
Yeah, and it's going to be super excited to see how all of these teams are going to fare here. It is going to be a private lobby, so it's only going to be these 14 teams, consisting of creators, ultra players, and of course NHL players with that being Mitch Marner. So it's going to be really fun to see how this one is going to turn out here. Even some members of the community, it looks like. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to form out. And you know what? We might as well bring it up right now, Visions. We were talking about some predictions just before we went live on the broadcast. So I think it's fair that we just put them out right now. I'm just going to throw it right out there. I think in Methods and his team, we're going to take this one. I got to put a little faith in Mr. Mitch Marner there because, handling a stick, he's got some hand-eye work going for him. He's
hopping on the Mitch Marner train already here, guys.
Yes, sir.
We're going to see how he does. Maybe he's going to pop off. Maybe you're right. I mean, there's a lot of actually really talented players. I was going through some of the roster. I was looking at Mayhem, someone who I've actually gotten to play with quite a bit. He put together actually one of his old GGEA squads where he had Vandy as his coach, had Believe as one of his teammates back. That could must have been Infinite Warfare. And so, I mean, yeah, absolutely. There's some great players, some great teams that we have towards the mix here. My prediction, I think, though, coming in here for me, I think I have faith here in my boy Mayhem. We go way back.
Okay.
With him, he is absolute fire. It's either going to be him or I think it's going to be Cammy's team because Cammy's also been pretty ruthless in some of those CDL actual Warzone games that they've been doing here on their championship Sundays right before all the matches go live. And yeah, I've been watching him, and he's been tearing up some of the pro players, ripping them apart in the gulags, so everything along those lines. And speaking about gulags, that's probably gonna be my favorite part. I think Nathan, once we get those 1v1s, right? We see maybe the Ultra roster go up against each other. It's like, well, only one's coming up live, and I'm sure those will be hyped up and a blast.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because I had not even considered that. Because, of course, the Gulag is going to consist of all the people in this private lobby. And I can't wait to see how this one is going to play out. And I can't wait to see the bragging rights that people are going to earn. The excuses we're probably going to be hear from them. Oh, I got the foul. I got the crossbow. It doesn't count, man. If only I got that second shot off. That's going to be such a fun time too. And I wonder if we are going to, especially it'd be really interesting in this private game mode, if we're going to get like the jailbreak, since that's such a rare mechanic. It'd be really interesting if it happened to pop up in the one game that we are going to be playing. But overall, yeah, really excited to see how these teams are going to do against each other. And just in general, I'm really interested to see what interactions are going to form both during and post game.
Yeah, and for as far as basically if you're able to make the top 3, that also means that you're going to be able to donate $1,000 to the charity of your choice. Each team has already picked out their charity, so there's also a little bit more on the line as well. It's not just having the pride of taking down some of the best that we have to offer here. But
that's right.
The money towards a real good cause overall. So there's an absolute lot to play for here for us on the night. I believe we're just getting ourselves ready for as far as this private lobby. So we do appreciate you guys all waiting here for us. But let us know in the chat currently right now who you're rooting for, who you think is going to be able to take the entire thing. Remember, it's
Mhm.
14 teams that are coming in towards the mix. Reason that's not really a lot being down. I'm kind of thinking about the map overall and how things are
Yeah.
together. And well, there's going to be maybe a lot of open spots. Some of those spots that we typically see, within a lot of our Warzone games might not necessarily be so hot because of just how much room there will be on the map and well, how
Mhm.
many places you're going to be able to go to.
See, I think you're right, but this is going to be a bit of a coin toss, in my opinion, here, because it's going to go one of two ways. I think a couple of teams might decide, you know what, it's this big map, small lobby. Let's go to some of the outskirts, places people don't visit very often, and try to just loot up beforehand, do it quietly, and be ready for these gunfights. But the interesting thing is that some other teams might have that same idea as well, which might end up creating some very interesting scenarios where it's like, whoa, whoa, you're out here on the edge of the map. That's where we were supposed to be. But the other thing might just be they could have some handshake agreement where it's like, we're all just gonna hot drop into the superstore because like what this is Warzone. We're not afraid here. And we even talked, you also mentioned this to me before we started the cast as well, Visions, how this is a little different than some of the Warzone you and I have done in the past, in the sense that these guys are some seasoned, excellent Warzone players. And the way they like to play is that this just get in your face, run and gun, and that's the way they play it out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually lean toward this more aggressive approach, hot drop either on the superstore nearby areas, and just basically have a lot of action early on.
Yeah, it's almost hard to say exactly, I think how it's really going to come in for us. And again, like how some of these players, I think, are really going to try to make the approach to it. Because I think we would typically see a lot of the time, for as far as what we would get, yeah, a lot of aggressive play, especially with
Yeah.
my experience, right? Mayhem's just like, listen, I see a red dot, we run. Like, all right,
Yeah.
sir, we go where you want to go. And that's kind of just how we've been rolling with things. But
Mhm.
I mean, seeing just some of these CDL events happen with a lot of the pro players in towards the mix here for us. And well, again, having some pro players here on the night, I think that it might call for just maybe a little bit more of a passive type of play style, maybe trying to post up. Could
Mhm.
even see players play for that recon. I remember, Paris Legion was a team that actually did that on the very first CDL event when there were squads from each and every team here within the CDL, and they had got themselves like 3 or 4 recons, so they were like 3 or 4 circles ahead, and they just posted up in a house and they just managed to get themselves just a crazy win.
Oh, it makes me
Got
sick.
everybody. Oh yeah, it makes you sick.
Oh,
I mean, the cash
ah.
that they got from it, Beatdown, probably made them really happy. But watching the play style, absolutely, I was like, come on, what is going on here? However, I do think that might be something that potentially plays a factor for us. Getting yourself in towards a couple of those early recons, you have the early rotation advantage, can play for some of that circle camping. That is going to play a factor for as far as being able to make
Mhm.
sure you're staying on top of loot, making sure the economy's still flowing. A lot of these things that we talk about that we will get to in towards the game
Sure.
is a lot of the things that, of course, you have to kind of keep in mind when you're dropping down, when you're making those rotations, and when you're looking to be able to make sure you still have the utility to be able to take those fights head on.
Of course. Yeah, and you know what? I guess when you put it that way, camping it out till the very end of the game is fine. I understand you're playing for money, and this time you're doing a similar thing as well. It is for a good cause. So I guess if you camp out to get some money for Toronto Sick Kids, I think I can let it slide this time. Whether it's Toronto Sick Kids or whatever charity you guys like to do it, but know that you're on thin ice. I'm still watching you.
Heard it from Nathan himself. If you can't fit here, it's like, all right, we might give you this one. But yeah, no, I definitely think a lot of these players are going to want to try and destroy their teammates, right? I mean, that's probably a
Oh
big
yeah,
as well. Being
yeah.
able to kind of come out on top and let them know, hey, listen, you got knocked out of the tournament because we destroyed you. My team that we put together, right? So it's got to feel pretty good for themselves here
Mhm.
overall. But just a big reminder for everyone that is tuning in, this event, of course, very much possible because of Scuf. And wouldn't be able to do this without them. You can take a look at that controller. Every single CDL team has their own controller, but I must say, beat down that Ultra controller. It's looking pretty nice.
Oh,
It's looking pretty good. Let's be honest.
I oh, and you know what? Funny thing is, I've been needing a controller for a really, really long time. So that's real tempting. The link's right there in the description too. Oh, stop! I can't be looking at this. It's gonna make me act out.
Hey, I
I
mean, I was
know.
looking at all the CDL controllers, mostly like all the feedback I've gotten too as well from like a lot of people in the community. It's like a lot of people are pretty big fan of the Ultra controller. You know, it just looks really sick, like the sick paint job here on the left
Purple's a
side of
sick
it.
color.
It just, yeah, it's just, I mean, well, let's be honest here. You know, the purple and the white just it goes together absolutely beautifully, and that's why we are one of the best teams within the CDL. Maybe not in the
That's
standings, but
literally why.
this
No,
upcoming week, absolutely, we're about to show everybody out there
There you
what's
go.
going on. You know, I've been letting everyone know, absolutely. Don't sleep on these guys. A couple roster changes coming towards the mix here for us. And while talking about roster changes, you know, Classic, another player that I think might be one of the sleeper teams. And I think there's actually a couple sleeper teams because some teams decided they're like really stack and rack
Mhm.
up
Mhm.
what they were looking to do here on the night. I remember we were going through just some of the stat sheets and overall just some of these teams that were coming in with. I mentioned
Mhm.
Mayhem bringing back some of his GGEA Orange players from Infinite Warfare from a couple
Mhm.
years ago. So there's a little bit of chemistry, I imagine, between them. But we talked
Sure.
about Looney bringing on Pac-Man, of course. These guys, old teammates, going all the way back to the Ghost days when
Mhm.
we were still in boots on the ground before a lot of those jetpack games and things along those lines. So I think that's potentially another team that we might be able to see just completely take off with things and run over the competition here for us. And then the other one, like we had said, Mitch Marner, of course, was one of the big question
Yeah.
marks. Maybe this guy's going to be frying. He's with Methods, who we already know is one of the top players, you know, that we have here within the league itself, and especially on the Ultra roster. And he is teamed up with TJ Holly, Optic Gaming's submachine gun player here. So that is definitely another big one. Methods was like, listen, I don't care what's going on here tonight. We might be playing for charity, but I'm here to dominate everybody in towards the mix. So he kind of
Mm.
assembles this little God Squad roster and
Yeah.
here beats down as you know, he's really looking just to run over anyone and he's not looking back.
Yeah, I just say it's starting to sound a little bit like you're encroaching on my prediction there, Austin. Remember, I let it slide. Hey, I let it slide that you picked two teams for your prediction where I picked one. Hey, so just be careful. You're on thin ice too. But
Oh,
no,
come
you're
on. I was just throwing it out there. There might be a team to watch out for. I'm
okay.
just saying, hey,
Okay. Okay. Fine.
all
Fine.
right, you calling me out. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
I'm just,
it.
I'm just, I'm just making sure you're staying honest there, Visions. But you're definitely right. A lot of powerful squads here going into the night, and we're really interested to see how this one's going to play out. There's obviously a number of teams to watch out for, and of course, there's a team
Sure.
I predicted that's going to win because they're going to win. But of course, a lot of teams to watch.
Oh, there definitely will be. And
Mhm.
again, everybody just getting ready to set up the private lobby. Of course, just waiting, I believe it was for one more team to get ready to jump in towards things. But 14 teams across the board, big open maps, still very similar to the settings that you would typically be into. And well, if you're watching a lot of those CDL Sunday events for as far as what we've been getting, then it's going to be very much along those lines of how it's going to kind of pan out. We'll be watching a lot of the action, jumping across, gulags, everything like that. Still events that can just randomly pop in towards the mix and that could end up happening here for us. So a lot of things to definitely watch out for and be excited for here for ourselves. Now, I think Beatdown, the interesting approach is that, you know, we've obviously actually got to cast a lot of Warzone over the last
Yeah, we
weeks,
have.
right? So we've gotten very in tune with a lot of strategies and, you know, what's been kind of the big goals here. I think the biggest difference, at least coming on towards the night here for us, is that it's not necessarily a kill race per se, where it's going to be running and gunning, right? It's going to be maybe a little bit more
Yeah.
tactical, which means that we might not just see the spamming UAVs and running around with you know, an SUV here trying to get a on it and just
Oh, if only.
go. The hunting that we always refer to, and more or less you
Mhm,
referred to,
mhm.
was definitely what we watched for. Where, you know, we talk about some of the strategies coming in towards tonight. Again, I think I'm really looking for as far as the recons, setting up early, getting yourself in a position to be able to at least take those fights head on, have the advantage on some of these circle rotations, things along these lines. So these are the things that we're going to be looking for. But I'm curious, do you have any other thoughts for as far as what we might expect and maybe what we might get here from some of these teams that we just have not seen before?
I'm glad you bring that up too, because at the end of the day, all joking aside, stacking up the recons like you talked about is a really viable strategy, and especially once you get an early loadout, you eventually get enough money to be able to grab yourself a loadout potentially. At that point, it's just going to be all about trying to get the best position you can, because it's another strategy that we've seen in the last couple of weeks of casting Warzone, where it's just about once you have the best position, you know more or less where people are going to be coming from. So it makes it a lot easier for you to take these gunfights, like you pointed out. So I do imagine that is going to be the prevailing strategy, just because this is going to be one game. It's not a kill race. You got to come out on top. So it's all about lasting towards the end and doing the best you can do to actually ensure that you get that Warzone victory at the end here.
That's right. Then I mean, that's gonna be such a great feeling when that finally
Oh
comes
yeah,
through as well, right? Like, I think it's a lot different when you get a Warzone victory. When you're just jumping into a random lobby, and maybe sometimes you encounter, a really good player, a really good teammate
true.
in towards the mix. For as far as it's completely RNG on who you're sometimes dropping in with, of course, with skill-based matchmaking playing a little bit of a factor overall, and I'm sure the skill-based matchmaking here for a lot of these players, maybe
Yeah,
not a lobby that I would want to be at least joining in with
no.
on just a free occasion, because it might not be the best of time for everyone. But this one, yeah, just a big mix of what you're going to get. Pretty much every single player, or rather, every single team has a player on the roster that has pretty much been brought right in from, I think, just responding on Twitter, on the Toronto Ultra Twitter. So a lot of people getting a chance to know Trixel, somebody here within the Toronto scene, was one of those players I think that was brought on towards the mix here. He'll be playing with Marky B in 0-0, another player that plays within the professional league, of course, plays on the London Royal Ravens, and then Marky B, well, the coach of Toronto Ultra, and it's been a big factor on why we see a
Mhm.
bit of a turnaround as we have here in the last couple of months in these homestands overall. And I bet he's got to be prepping the boys up coming into what will be the final week here for us on the homestand this weekend. But yeah, I mean, I think maybe talking about Marky B, this has got to be a pretty good one for him, right? I mean, for anyone that doesn't know him, COD Legend has one of the nastiest 1v4 round 11s of all time, and somebody, yeah, like absolutely insane, right? And somebody who also would probably like to rub it into some of his, some of his teammates,
True.
like, listen, all right, we smoked you in the Warzone event, you didn't stand a chance, right? Like, hearing that from your coach just can't happen, beat down for all of the
No,
actual players that are on the roster. I'm sorry, but you can't go down to
no.
that team. I know it's going to be with some players that are obviously very good and very talented, but you'll never be able to let it go, and you're going to hear it for who knows how long.
Forever.
Right.
And you're gonna beg for the 1v1 rematch. Say no, redeem. It's like, let me redeem myself, and he's gonna say no. You're never gonna get that chance again. So it's right. Any Toronto Ultra players listening here, you have to win this one, lest you hear it for the rest of your days.
Yeah, you're going to hear it for the who knows how
Forever.
long. But ladies and
Maybe
gentlemen,
maybe
again,
longer.
just a little bit of a lobby issues for as far as what we're getting. So we're just talking and going through all the teams here with you guys, just
Sure.
trying to go through the format. But for anyone that doesn't know, not only is tonight, of course, happening here for us with this amazing box social event, but this is Toronto Ultra Week. Happy Toronto Ultra Week, because Thursday we're going to have the Northern Rival stream. Of course, myself and Beatdown will
That's
also
true.
be back on that event there for you guys. It'll start on the Wednesday games. Typically, sometimes I might end up streaming them just for fun to see exactly what's happening, but Thursday will be the main day that we definitely look at seeing exactly who's going to be able to get themselves another chip. There's been a lot of competition. Lurid, also known as 47, one of the players that has won every single one up towards this point, so he might keep the dynasty going here for himself, but have to imagine a lot of players looking to compete for that $5,000. And then the homestand, which is this week in the very last event of the CDL season, is going to come down to it. It is a stacked lineup this week, and that will be coming through here for us with a lot of really big teams, some of the best teams essentially that will end up coming in here for us. So that's what we're looking for this entire week. It all starts with tonight on the Monday. So you guys are just going to be full of content here, and it's going to be an absolute blast. We are hearing 60-second timer that we are getting ourselves into now for the Warzone, so we can finally stop rambling on and on. We're getting ready to jump in towards the gameplay here very, very soon. Want to say big thank you for everyone that is still sticking here with us, because it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're finally going to see how it all unravels here very shortly for us, Nathan.
Yeah, that we are, Vision. It's going to be such a fun time, both today and for the rest of the week, just to see how everything plays out here. Of course, tonight we're going to start nice and light, little fun box social here, where people are playing for a good cause, but also some bragging rights. And we all know what's more important to these players here. I'm not going to say it, but we all know. And then we're going to ramp it up later on in the week with Northern Rivals, of course. There's just so much to do this week, and it's so exciting to see how it's all going to play out. And just a reminder, too, as we're about to go to game, we got to remind everybody of our predictions, just in case, we've been rambling so long, you guys forgot. I said team methods, because I believe in methods and Mr. Marner. Austin, you got to tell him what you were saying, just to make sure we know, just to have it on record.
That's right. So Beatdown is going to be
Mhm.
voting for this team, which I think is the fair one for
Mhm.
sure. Me, I think I'm putting my marbles in towards Mayhem's team. I think I got to
Okay.
have some faith. Vandy, believe there's a lot of
Mhm.
synergy, man. Like
Sure.
there is a lot of synergy built in towards that team, and I think that's might be what carries them through. I'm sure they're going to be having an absolute blast, a lot of fun. But we're looking in towards the drops, of course. This is going to be Methods, Marner, as well as TJ Holly looking here, and it looks like they got Chaos Knight as one of the players that was probably tweeting on towards the Toronto Ultra Twitter, wanted to be added in towards the mix, and he has now gotten himself in. So the drop's now live, getting ready to go through that looting phase here for us. As we'll see, looks like there's no real contest here for themselves. They don't have to worry about a team here being hot on their heels right away.
Yeah, and it looks like the initial setup is going to be just drop in a less than popular area. Hope that you don't run into anybody right away, and it's definitely going to pay off here. Because at the end of the day, again, it's all about surviving till the end, and that is the smartest way to play it out here. Plus, again, the chances of running into people are going to be real low. And it's real nice because that's a nice chunk of money for the squad here already right off of the bat. You can see they managed to find some plates for themselves. So if they do get into a bit of a scuffle, I think they are going to be able to find their way out of it. And it is going to be a lot harder in this smaller lobby for them to get third parties. So I hope I didn't just jinx it like I've been jinxing things these last 3 to 4 weeks. But that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, look at this right now. We see Martin. He's already the cash man. I think he just dropped 6,600 here. Yeah, he did 6,600 for Methods. So they already got themselves the Loto drop, and that's just after about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of looting. So this is a real nice start. I'm liking this drop idea that they're coming through just right away here on stream. They're going to get themselves now all the occasional loadouts that they're going to want. Sniper as well as the M4A1 in play, of course, with that ultra camo. No other way to be able to be running
Mhm.
yourself here on the map. And now that they got loadouts for themselves here, I expect them to probably get a UAV here very, very soon. You can see already pinging out another buy station to maybe catch a team on rotation here, but they pretty much have the ability to do whatever they would like here at the moment, Nathan. Moving here through the map, having your loadouts this early is something that you very rarely see.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I even heard somebody say it in the stream here. They know what they're doing is a little different too, but I'm really interested to see how this one is going to work out. And now they're just going to keep moving their way across the map. But of course, even in the small lobby, you do got to play rather diligently. And look at this. They just keep finding cash. They just keep finding plates. This is actually going to work. This is actually a really good start here for Methods and his squad. So we're going to see how, if they run into anybody or just as they try and make their play across the map, they actually have a good amount of cash. And it looks like they're heading back to that buy station. I think I heard them say they want to buy a UAV, which is honestly great. You don't know where people are going to be, not a dense lobby. So it's a really nice way to start this one out. Look at that. Another chunk of cash. These guys are just making it rain.
They're making it rain, and well, they're about to go hunting here as that UAV going to be
There it
purchased.
is.
Wonder if they're going to hold on to it. I think this is really the interesting spot where we're talking about tactics, and before really there's any fights going on, and it's not really encountering anything just yet. Will you look at using that UAV right away? Will you look at kind of holding on towards it here for a bit? Those are some of the things, but looks like they have
Mhm.
spotted out a team here at the moment. The way that they're approaching, maybe there is a helicopter up in the air, just checking everything out. Looks like a ping will come through there as a shot might come out from Method, seeing if he's going to land. It goes for the Hail Mary. Not going to be able to connect it here for himself, but will be able to make their approach. And well, as we talk about looting, that's probably what's going to take place here over towards the TV station. Just going to have to make a very safe approach to it because this is one of those buildings here for us beatdown that has multiple levels, a lot of camping spots, and they're going to pop the UAV here just to be safe. And they're not going to scout anyone out here even close to them.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It is a bit of a risk. I like that they held it, and at this point, it was a bit of a coin flip on whether or not this was going to happen. Maybe you pump the UAV, and there is literally nobody in this vicinity here. A lot of vehicles around, like you mentioned. I think I see an SUV, Big Bertha, even, and a helicopter. But again, it's a little risky to take it. It's actually really interesting that we saw that other squad pick up that helicopter to put themselves in such a risky position here, but. It looks like this UAV didn't really pay off. They're just going to loot, though, and find themselves a lot of cash.
Yeah, Ludi, I'm honestly curious to see if like any of these other teams are in close proximity here with each other right now. as I believe we were going to be switching over to Brack. He's actually in the gulag for us. So already a lot of fighting happening here on towards the map. And a 1v1 is about to take place. Against 2 is really going to be the question mark because, you know, some other players actually have to die. What could happen for us, Beatdown, is if no one gets in towards the lobby here fast enough, they might actually automatically just get some free entries back on towards the map here. And with only 10 seconds coming down for waiting the next opponent, I think that might be exactly what happens.
That is a funny way for this one to play out. It's not that surprising, though. I think we aren't going to, unless there ends up being a big skirmish at some point, I don't think there's going to be too much action in the Gulag until a little bit closer to when it is going to close. Because at that point, the map's going to get smaller. More teams are going to run into each other. And that is when you're going to see multiple squads get themselves sent over to the Gulag. That's when you're going to see those legendary 1v1s that people are going to be talking about forever. At the very least, the players involved.
Looks like the drop of choice is going to be the hospital for us. Everybody does get out of the gulag for free, so this is almost like a pure second chance here. This is really like getting yourself a most wanted contract and completing it somehow, which rarely ever happens. But this is essentially what happens. They all end up dropping down very early on, but the fact that they're able to get themselves to a point where they're now getting all free drops, looting back up like normal, the second chance now going to be what plays out for us. They even get themselves a UAV, it looks like, out of one of these crates, which is extremely rare, I might add, to be able to get yourself that early, but able to at least get some information. Nobody's nearby. Lots of bounties to play for. I think the other thing I was actually looking out for here tonight is we usually see a lot of teams that get that first initial loadout go for what is typically overkill. I would actually not be surprised, especially for the people that are getting some of these later crates for themselves to get their loadout classes, to go with Ghost right off the bat for us, Nathan. Because it obviously is going to be pretty much a UAV hunting game. Once we get especially towards some of those final circles, teams are just going to be waiting patiently on rotation and things along these lines. So I would expect maybe some Ghosts to actually come in. I think it would be the better bet here for sure, as we do see everyone looted back up. We switch back over towards Methods. They're in the copter now, baby. They're looking to vibe out a little bit, spot out some teams, see if they can get anyone down.
It looks like they have been spotted. They are getting shot up, and oh my god, I think Methods, oh, he falls right out of the helicopter, gets more than his ankles broken. And as you can see, someone shot him right from below here. He's going to find himself sent over to the Gulag. But to your point, Austin, oh, wait, actually, looks like Methods is going to get himself into a 1v1 immediately here. So we got to see how this one plays out first. It's the sniper play. Oh, my God.
Ooh, I'm not sure who he took down for that final kill cam,
I would love to know.
Oh my god, I'm trying to check the chat real quick there, see who it was. Was that Clean? No, it was Classic. It was Classic. Absolutely.
No.
Classic sends him just into the abyss and doesn't even stand a chance. Nice little quick snap there from Methods to be able to get himself a redeploy.
Yeah, this is a hello and goodbye from Methods straight to you. And now he's going to get himself back onto the Warzone here. Unfortunately, he is trying to fall to his teammates who are unfortunately falling all around him. So he is going to more or less just divert, realizing that, yeah, I can't go this way anymore. My teammates are in the Gulag. I'm just going to go to a different part closer to the stadium, maybe even towards that downtown area. He hasn't actually cut his parachute yet. He is pinging it on the map.
Now we're going to switch over to Lucky. See how he's faring and how he's doing. Looks like they're over by the dam, and they're pretty set up at the moment. Lots of plates that have been thrown around. You see 8 in the satchel at the moment here, and having the loadout classes. And the worst thing possible for everyone else on the map right now is that this circle slowly but surely starts to move in towards the dam. But it seems like the call is going to be made here. Actually, maybe just completely jump off and make what could be just an approach over towards the bottom area. But Lucky doesn't want to give this up just yet. Might be anticipating a team to potentially be up here for himself. I mean, this is the high ground. This is one of those strategies we talked about for as far as what we could end up expecting at the very least. However, bounty contract is going to be picked up once again. Looks like that's what they were waiting for. The last one did expire. There's even a loadout crate to be able to move down towards, to be able to switch towards that ghost perk that I had mentioned just a little bit before. And I imagine that's exactly what's about to happen here for us.
Yeah, and I did want to expand on that just a little bit. I think you're absolutely right there, Visions. That was a thought of mine too early on into this, because like you said, and like we've seen so much over the last little while, In these, especially in the packed maps, you always go for that overload perk first, and then on your second crate later on into the game, you swap it over to Ghost. But this one where, especially in such a small lobby, you're going to be relying on the UAV a lot. You got to imagine every other squad is looking to do the same. So in that case, going for Ghost right off the bat might actually be the best decision, as you've stated. And we're going to see how many teams actually opt for that one here. We're seeing pigs come out here from the squad. I think they see another team, and they are going to try and slowly move their way in towards them.
Ping's about to come down. This might be actually a real good spot to maybe go in with a bit of a listen in here with the Lucky Boys and see if they're going to be able to get themselves anything going on. We're going to hear how some of the comms are going, exactly what they're saying, and get a real in live action of it right now.
We're good for now. That door has been open.
Yeah. So did they just do a quick sweep and leave? Or?
Might be. This is a dead silence here.
I got Daddy already.
Cogerlo vosotros.
Lo tengo ya. Ahorita, cógelo.
Bye.
Aquí hay caja de munición.
Vale, tengo dinero para daros para que compréis el self-res, venirse. Menos para que se lo compre uno.
¿Ves tú, Jorge?
¿Necesitas más? Sí, ¿no? Toma más ahí.
It was funny because me and my wife were playing Warzone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here at least a little bit of those comms. They did spot out that there was a team nearby here for us, Nathan. So at the very least, they are very much aware that there was somebody potentially looting around. And now they're playing just a little bit safe, a little bit wary, as everyone is back together waiting for what could be a little bit of a pinch or a push out. But the circle's getting smaller and smaller, teams getting themselves towards a point where there's still a lot of open land. That's the biggest thing. But you can see some pings actually going down over towards the outside here. Might look to make a move on towards just one team that they might have spotted out over towards the left here. Lucky looks like he's making an approach towards the ping. Might just want to get towards the outside of the map. They are just searching things out here slowly but surely. Another bounty also not going to be completed here for themselves, which means that they are not going to have that additional cash, but likely going to expect that for us too, Nathan, as you don't want to make those aggressive pushes just running for bounties across the map.
That's right. And with the amount of money they have right now, they're not in the worst spot by any means. Next time they get close to a buy station, which if you can see on the minimap, they are actually getting pretty close. They're going to be able to spend quite a bit of their money on some utility. But now we're going to switch it back over to methods here. We're sitting just on the outskirts of the safe zone currently where it is here. And it's looking like they actually do have one kill under their belt. So one squad was eliminated. It was very likely due to this squad here.
Well, pray for me.
Yeah, could be the case. I mean, there's really, plus, of course, the team that we have on our squad, 38 other players here. And this is probably going to be, I think, a lot of rotating. You can see them just circle camping. And this is probably one of the best strategies, I think, that you can really have, I think, this far in, is just being able to play along the circle, have it up against your back. And I think they have now spotted out a team here from range. Methods might look to take a shot and see if he can get himself a nice little long shot here, maybe even crack some of the armor, be a bit of a nuisance. It's just going to play for the information, not going to take any shots that he's not going to absolutely connect on and hit. So I kind of like the discipline here on the trigger, not going to try and force the play by any means. But this is crucial information, especially as this rotation now has to go right in towards where they just spotted those players out.
That is definitely the right call. That you don't want to make, you don't want to give away your position here, because in this particular instance, stealth is definitely the most important thing. You don't want to reveal yourself unless you can get a guaranteed kill here. And it looks like the rest of the squad is starting to move in, but they're going to keep methods on this high ground, keeping an eye on the building. He spots someone out. He's still on top of there, so one can assume the squad is still hanging around this building here, as the rest of the team is going to start slowly making their way towards it. Sitting by the buy station right now, he's actually getting shot. There's a sniper of their own across on that building.
Yep. That's not pretty, because they're going to be...
We'll look for what is going to be a second. Oh my God, methods. All right. Maybe you got to take over the sniper for the Ultra Boys in game, because that was pretty filthy long shot. Not, of course, the complete down, but enough to be able to allow them to press forward for a little bit on this rotation in towards the circle. They're expecting another team that could be also playing the rotation in. So this is actually a very scary spot for Methods and Co. Everybody needs to get themselves to a safe spot in the circle, but there's so many teams that are still going to be rotating in. Still a good amount of teams that are up and left here for us. Another 11, including the squad that we have. UAV is going to get invested, and we'll look at that. Force beatdown. Looks like they are going to spot out another potential team here, or what will be a couple of lingering members at the very least.
And what we know now is that basically all they're going to do is this point is chase the red dots. You see someone on the UAV and you start to move in. There's also a bounty nearby, which might end up leading them to that squad. And since they know they're nearby, they're just being really wary. I love this. They're looking out to be third party, and they actually might be. Methods is going to take a shot out onto the side, probably somewhere in that forest area. So he's calling it out. They got to be super careful about how they play this one, but they don't want to take a long-range gunfight just yet. They're taking this one slow, trying to get some recon out there with the sniper. And honestly, I feel bad for anybody who walks into Method's crosshair after what we just saw.
Okay, well.
Yeah, this is getting just a little bit scary. They have to be breaking out in towards the team here very soon. They've now been attacked twice from the left-hand side of the map. So constantly towards the south here is where they have information on one squad. Methods is not convinced, though, that there is another one easily towards his right, as they are still moving in through some pretty open land at the moment. So they're taking everything with caution, which is exactly how you have to play a lot of these little events here at the moment when you have yourself in towards a private match and you only have really one big attempt. It's not like it's a kill race. You hop in, have yourself a bad little drop, and you have a chance of redeeming yourself, right? It's almost just a one shot and go, and you have some gulags at the very least to be able to play a difference. But I'm hearing we might be switching perspectives here for ourselves, seeing exactly what else comes through. Actually, Psych, we're staying on board with Methods, Marner, as well as Mitch Marner. If you're not aware, if you're just tuning in, of course, one of the Maple Leafs players, alongside with TJ Hawley from Optic Gaming, as well as Chaos Knight, I believe one of the lucky players that got picked up for themselves. And we do take a look at least what's going on here. Marner looks like he wants to get himself a little bit of an investment right in towards self-revive here for himself. So wants to keep himself healthy and alive in case he does end up going down. So just adding towards just a little bit more of this utility. Circle will successfully be rotated in. Methods checking for any late rotations, but now we're getting ourselves in towards what is about to be the nitty-gritty here. Lots of teams, no teams for players really going down here over the last little bit. Actually, a couple players coming back in towards the mix, probably based off of no 1v1s happening in the Gulag. So lots to happen here for us, but as we get closer and closer, this is going to make things tougher and tougher, Beatdown, moving from building to building.
It's going to end up being something like there's still 46 people left in this lobby, 12 teams, and it's just going to be, once the circle gets small enough, all of a sudden all of these teams are going to clash, and that's going to be a hot mess, as Methods is going to take shots somewhere across the airfield. He actually sees somebody, I don't know if he noticed, run across his screen. He's gonna pull the... Nope, I did hear the call. The ping is out, so they do know. And unfortunately, they lose their teammate, it looks like, in the background. So they need to get him up as soon as they can, but they don't want to risk losing anyone in the process. Luckily, they will successfully revive him as Methods goes for a little bit of a flank here, trying to see if he can get the drop on this mystery squad.
We can maybe hold these
A little
guys.
bit of a scary spot. You can hear the comms going off. 20 seconds, and that storm is going to start rolling on through here for us. They know a team's to the right, so this fight might just be forced to be taken. They're going to actually lose Marner. That is actually rather, they're actually going to lose TJ Hawley off that. Now Marner goes down. It's a quick snap from Methods, but not looking great, and now that might just be the team.
That is unfortunate. I do believe they do have gulags available. We're going to see how that happens later on, as we are going to switch to another squad. Who are in the middle of the fight themselves. Oh, no, he doesn't have the revive, but honestly, it looks like the one man on your screen is out as well. He is going to win one fight, but loses the rest. Luckily, he does have teammates who are still alive here, so he's going to be spectating them. We're going to see how this one plays out. But it's a little precarious. There's a man on your screen currently being spectated. They know he's there. He's trying to see if he can sneak some shots in. Oh, nobody's getting shot up right now.
This is a scary spot to be in right now. You're seeing everybody is just absolutely looking to see if they can find any kind of information here to take some shots. Yakko gonna get challenged out, but he's got his teammates here with him. Everything unfolding beautifully right now for what is looking to be Metals and his squad. Metals, though, has been taken out. It will be out of the picture for the time being. They have pings on one more player,
Let's see where he is.
and they're looking to maybe use some of the C4 that could be still available for a few of these members up. The storm also reminds you, moving in slowly but surely. So have to think about how they're going to do it. C4 does come out. It is going to be Unbared Moose who's going to get himself at least a little bit of a setup here with a couple of MP5s going strong, but everyone holding their ground right now. No one wants to make too big of a misstep beatdown just in case it's their last life.
And we just talked about, speaking of life, look at the number of people left in this lobby. Just a few minutes ago, we were talking, it was 46, and now just like that, we're down to 32. Shots are coming out. Cracks the armor. Isn't quite enough to make it 31, but someone goes down in the background to make it so. So just like that, things are picking up very quickly, and unfortunately, man on your screen is also going to lose his life as the gas moves in. I think he has one squad mate available, one in desperate need of a revive. Luckily, he is going to get it, but still, not a great spot to be in. No plates, low HP. They probably want to sit in this trailer for just a little bit.
They might want to, and well, they might not even have the chance. But on to Brack, who has not had the best start with his squad. That's a lot of crates that just dropped down, which means there is a lot of teams in the area. Brack, of course, gonna realize this, and he's gonna have some cash to play with, but he is more or less looking for a weapon. As much as cash is great, he needs to get himself something that he can shoot back with. And right now, it's really just up to the X16. That's all he's gonna really have access to. They will press for the loadout crate. I think at this point in time, it might just be worth it, beatdown, just to press for it. Try to get some guns, right? I mean, what else do you have to lose at this point in time?
Yeah, you got to be in and out, though. It's definitely worth a try. I mean, he's got to rely on his X16 right now, but it's not my gun of choice. I got to be honest with you, especially late game in the Warzone. He is going to find a rifle and the Akimbo Magnum. Definitely people's go-to, but he's going to swap it out for an what I believe is an MP7, which is a much better buy here, especially close up into this building here. So we're going to see. They're playing this one slowly. Luckily, he does have plates. Oh, his teammate's actually going to drop him an MP5. That's really good for him here. So again, if they take a fight in this building as they are in the edge of the circle, this could work out pretty well for them. They don't have the money to redeploy here, so they are stuck as a duo for the moment. Oh, I think someone popped up on his screen, but he didn't see him.
Brack looking to make the challenge. Wants to see if he can make this play happen. He's busting open doors, collecting cash. They have a buy station fairly close. They actually could get another player in here, but the zone is just unfortunately going to move in before they have the chance to be able to get to it. I like the play, however, dropping the MP5 for one of the professional players, probably something I would recommend too, and I would absolutely be doing. But look at this. That is going to be a real unfortunate play there for Brack. Just runs around the corner. The whole squad is just waiting there patiently. It's going to be Nova Puma who actually brings this one home here, finishes off the skill. So not going to be great there, unfortunately, for them. But coming down as we're getting less and less players, we're going to go back to Lucky. These guys pretty loaded out. You can see a couple kills on the board for them. Everybody up and alive, and they're sitting pretty at this point in time in towards the game here for us.
Definitely a great spot to be in here. The last couple of squads we looked at, if they were still in this, they were looking at only 2 members, maybe 3. So to have a full 4-man this late in the game is going to be super impactful, especially because if you think about it, 3 squads left, 12 people in the lobby. That means it's really 8 players left because we're not counting the 4 on this squad here.
Yeah.
So they aren't going to be running into a, they probably won't even run into a full squad. Maybe 1 full squad and then 2 duos. But the point is, if they run into a single squad, there's a good chance they're going to have the numbers advantage. They still have quite a bit of money. If they manage to get near a buy station, they could maybe buy themselves some utility here. But it's looking like that's going to be tough. They just want to play the area they're in. Hopefully the circle just continues to close towards them and people are forced to move into them.
Circle's very, very small. Look at this positioning right now, actually, that we have. And everybody pretty much has Ghost that's left in towards the lobby. Now it's just a couple more squads. Lucky might just be the team that ends up bringing it home here.
Whoa.
It's going to crack some very nice shots here in towards the plates. It's going to be able to eliminate one potentially. Pings it out. But look at the positioning. They just have the high ground. They have all of the cover. They have all of the buildings. So every other team pretty much out in the open as we come down to what is about to be our final moments. That rotation, however, not going to be great for Lucky's team in particular. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath rotating in towards this circle here, and it's all going to unravel very, very quickly for us.
The UAV is out too for Lucky. Nobody spotted on it, but at this point, everybody's got to be running Ghost here, if anything at all. So it is going to be tough for them to. They're just pretty much relying on what they can see on their screens here. You're hearing a request for pings, so somebody has been seen here, and they have to make their way into this final circle here. And as they're sitting on the edges, they're bound to run into somebody soon. There are still 2 other squads, but still nobody has shown up on their screen. You got to imagine they're just hanging out just at the edges of the gas, just trying to see if they can catch anybody moving in here. But it looks like they're actually going to have a kill streak reward called in as well. I think that's an airstrike.
Yeah, it looks like I think a cluster that did just come in, so it just rained down on them. But look at the positioning. Still, you have the high ground. You're checking every single corner. Now the push is about to commence for them. I have to imagine they have to be on the other side of this wall. There's really no other spot that you can really be inside of. And now they're going to force the hand, as it's going to be one more player eliminated. It's going to be our final team here. Looks like just a team of 3. Are they going to be able to pull off the miracle? Hiding behind what looks to be the tent. Lucky going to spot it out, goes from some wall bank shots.
Oh my God.
Firing at them, and this could just be it. They're going to have to rotate out as they know they don't have the cover anymore. They're proning, they're crouching. I imagine they're doing everything they can, but they can't fight back. And well, to make matters worse, we can even see a precision airstrike looking to rain down on them as well. Cut off the rotation beat down. This is just so unfortunate. They have nowhere to go. They have to challenge. One more will come down, and Method Sick will be able to eliminate the very last player. And with one more up, we'll see if he can make anything happen. It would have to be a 1v4. They're still firing. They still have the positioning. And well, this should just be an easy dub.
They're going to see the mask come in, and it looks like the teammate in the background gets the kill. That is your Warzone victory for Lucky and the rest of his squad here. And there it is. It would have taken a miracle for the one individual to get that clutch. But unfortunately, it just was not in the cards.
Not in the cards. You take a look at everybody here across all of our teams. And well, our top 3 will be able to now donate $1,000 to the charity of their choosing. So at least a little bit here going towards a great cause, as well as a great feeling, I have to imagine, for Lucky and co. Played things perfectly. They held on towards the streaks towards the end, which I think was one of the big things, right? They had a UAV going, they had a cluster, a precision airstrike, everything just waiting for themselves here. And well, waiting ended up paying off because they found the last team, which I believe to be, I think it might have been Marky B and co for the most part. And they were able to just kind of hold out long enough, take the position and cut them off. And honestly, I was funny that Lucky decided to start just firing through the tent. He's like, hey, listen, these guys are just camping in here. We know where they are. I wonder if we can just wall bang this. And then as soon as he started firing, the whole team's like, oh, wait, let's just all start firing. It works.
Oh
and
my God,
they start cracking off. So it was very unfortunate. Maybe not a chance for them to be able to fight back and get themselves in towards the mix, but just great awareness for Lucky understanding, like, hey, listen, we can just wall bang this. We can get the easy dub here, guys.
And it is really unfortunate there. It looks like camping doesn't pay off in this particular scenario. And you know what? As much as I don't condone camping, if you're going to do it, I think some reinforced walls might need to be on that checklist just so something like that can't happen. I'm pretty sure the walls were so flimsy that airstrike managed to help secure some kills as well. So again, unfortunate scenario, little bit of not the best positioning, but Lucky New Squad are going to take it.
Absolutely. And well, of course, this event was obviously possible because of Scuf. If you haven't seen the controller, look at that damn thing. Beatdown and I were absolutely talking it up. Best controller in the league by far. No one else, I think, comes close. And I'm just going to put it out there. So make sure you pick up that controller, bring it home. It's an absolute blast. And yeah, absolutely. If you want to try and get yourself in towards the mix here with a brand new equipment, this might just be what brings your level to that next gameplay, or brings it to the next level here, excuse me. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our social box event. It's been an absolute blast here. Lucky is going to come away with the win with his squad, but this isn't the only thing that we have going on here. I believe we even have the 2v2 gunfight going on towards tomorrow, which is something else that had actually slipped my mind. So the box event today, the 2v2 2v2 gunfight tomorrow, which of course, whoever comes out on top of that is going to go towards the grand final of every single team that has come out with their 2v2s. Every single winner going to face off against each other, and you might have the chance at representing Toronto Ultra if you're able to take home the prize money there. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have the start of our last Northern Rivals, where Beatdown and I will be making an appearance once again, and that will be on the Thursday. Everything going to be absolutely streamed, and we're going to see who's going to be able to finish off the last one here with a dub. Lots of competition, lots of things that have been happening, a lot of storylines that we're going to have the ability to be able to push. So make sure you guys check that out. And then, well, most importantly, the end of the week this weekend, Toronto Ultra's homestand is going to be the very last CDL event of the entire season. Toronto chance to see if they can maybe get themselves in towards what will be the top 8 so that they can get themselves a better seeding heading in towards COD Champs, which of course will be at the end of August. So there is so much Call of Duty coming your guys' way, and a lot of it you're capable of participating in. So if you'd like to sign up for that 2v2 or sign up for Northern Rivals, bring your squad and see if you have what it takes to go towards some of the best here that we have to offer within the Canada scene. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for the night. Of course, this was the Toronto Ultra Box Social event, all presented by Scuf. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys next week or on Thursday coming in here for us with more Call of Duty action.